Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News, the unreliable ones. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the newsroom and welcome to the Goutopia News Network, your unreliable source for DSP News. This is the Snort Report. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here with one of our favorites, Snort Burnell, DSP Gaming. I'm against free games, but I'm open for you to give me games. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this comes from the fact that, from a nice little narrative that Phil's been pushing for a little while, about influencers or people in these elitists in the gaming community getting free games and whatnot, and getting games first and getting them early and being able to play them and getting paid to play them, while the little guys like him who are starving apparently can't get a look. Yet that's not necessarily true, because Phil's pay piggies give him games and have been for a long time, or have been giving him money to play games. I've gone over videos about this before, as well as others, all the way back to 2009, that he was accepting donations so he could play games. The games that people want him to play, the games that they wanted to see. He's benefited from the practice directly from the fan base, but he looks at that as being different, at having people, right, who work 9-to-5 jobs, or who have disability checks, or could be using that money on themselves to do fun stuff, or do stuff to help elevate them and help push them further along in life. He's okay if these people kick, 60, 80, 100 bucks to him so he can play games, as well as the DLCs and whatnot. But he thinks these people over there on Twitch or on YouTube, these influencers, in air quotes, are assholes and shills and whatnot, and are killing the gaming community off because they want to get in bed with the actual sponsors, or with the actual publishers, or with the publishing companies. Does that sound really intelligent to you? It seems to me like the man, the big guy on campus, who apparently has a business degree, doesn't really understand how business works. Imagine that. I know that sounds kind of crazy. I know, most of you are like, GTG, come on, dude. He has a business degree. He was valedictorian. He knows what he's doing. Oh, of course he does. You're absolutely right. Of course he does. He has all those. He has all of that. Despite the fact that every day there's an hour plus pre-stream where he's begging for money. Matter of fact, to go ahead and push that point home, now he's starting to beg through the actual gameplays themselves. Now, let me go ahead and push that even further if I can. Now he has the nerve to sit there and say, halfway through a playthrough, that, you know what, guys, contributions have been pretty slow today. Hopefully they pick up tonight. You know what I mean? Because I really need this money to pay my bills, because I don't really want to lose my house, and I feel like none of you guys are really contributing right now, or, I'm thinking about cutting stream off early, because, contributions have been pretty slow tonight, this, that, and the third. Yeah, the businessman sure as hell knows what he's doing. The same businessman that has sub-goals but doesn't know how to conduct them, so acts as the people that he's trying to pander to give him money for the sub-goal on what the sub-goal should be. Only so he doesn't end up doing it later. I know, you're right. He knows exactly what the hell he's doing. What do I know? Just a cute pup in a sharp suit, right? Ladies and gentlemen, you know how all this works. So let's go ahead and get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Snort Report, and this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking. Unreliable coverage that you can't count on. A GTG Network and Productions. You guys all know the slogan. I know you guys smell the bacon a little bit. Just a little bit. We're going with candied bacon today. You know what I'm saying? We've been doing pretty well. None of you guys have gout, so we can put the cherry juice away and all that, so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking some toast. Actually, you know what? I'm thinking about some just candied bacon BLTs. Sounds pretty good, right? You know what I'm saying? I'll give you guys some orange juice. You know what I'm saying? Some of you guys want a mojito. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, right? Coffee, cappuccino, whatever you guys want, we can make it happen. But I want to go with something simple. And nothing beats a delicious BLT. Don't you think? I think so too. You guys all know the slogan. It's time to watch me work.
That is an epic fucking intro, dude.
And I have to warn everyone, warning, what you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting.
I've had luck in my life with women.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're here with one of our favorites, Snort Burnell, DsPgaming. I'm against free games, but I'm open for you to give me games. Also, apparently some people in the office were pretty upset by my last comment and said that a mojito wouldn't actually be appropriate for the morning. As if I haven't seen any of you individuals have a drink early in the morning. But they said that we should actually have samosas. Now that's what, orange juice and champagne, I think? Okay, orange juice and champagne it is. Sorry. I went to the first thing that came to mind, okay? So I'm not like you see me drink before 12. Anyway, we're not here to judge. Here we go.
What? Skinner says I've only had 2 chicks. I hate to tell you I've been with more than 2 women in my life, dummy. Do you think that my ex-girlfriend, who I didn't start dating till, what was it, 2012, 2013, was my first girlfriend ever? Just because what you know has happened on the internet is all you know doesn't mean that's the only thing that's ever happened to me in my life. I wasn't born 10 years ago. Oh my god, some people are fucking ignorant. I wasn't born 10 years ago, stupid. Holy crap, you're a dummy. What a dum-dum. There were many things that happened to me in my life before I ever went on YouTube.
Tomorrow, I've made my...
Yeah, that's true, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, let me go ahead and try to clarify a little bit of that. Not meaning to be petty, but might be getting a little bit petty. He was on a cocktail of medication and whatnot. You know, it is what it is. He was stalking some chick and whatnot, and if things weren't going to straighten up in his life, he didn't know what was going to end up happening and all that. His words, not mine. He was in an absolutely horrendous car crash that allegedly took like half of his face, or half of his face was horribly burned and everything. He's had a lot of stuff happen to him that you guys didn't know about. Just putting it out there. He's a man of mystery, a man of intrigue, a man of secrets. Dirty secrets. You don't know how dangerous he is. Phil Burnell, a man of snorts, a man of lies, a man of action. I can't even say that with a straight face.
Official decision, everyone. I am going to be starting up Layers of Fear 2. Alright, someone actually already gave me a significant amount of PlayStation credits. I think $25 in PlayStation Network credit. And the game, I think, is $30. So, tomorrow I'm going to start up Layers of Fear 2. So we start off with Dolphin Splash, who did a 50-bit cheer overnight and asked the following. He said, recently some generous fans have given you alpha codes for things like Neo 2 and Code Vein. Does it mean you're more open to getting games for free now? Dolphin Splash. In a nutshell, I do not approve of an elitist group of people getting full game releases early and broadcasting them to the internet for mass profit. I don't believe that influencers should get games early, play the games, and not be able to be honest about the games because there's a review embargo, basically overhype the games and then get paid to do so. I think it's incredibly dishonest.
But how can you overhype a game if you can't give an opinion on it, good nor bad? How does that work? I've never really understood that part. Like, he keeps saying that they can't be... It's in his head, it comes down to, oh, they can't be negative about a game, and that's overhyping it. But if the game is good, or if they perceive the game to be good, then what is there to be negative about? Just wondering.
Advertisement, and a lot of people, sadly, are so gullible. They fool for this kind of shit. They get fooled. I was supposed to say they fall for this kind of shit. They get fooled by it, thinking the game is good, then they run out and buy said game. In addition, because a certain influencer / streamer gets access to a game early, people then throw money at them. Oh, thanks for showing me this game early. Here's some money.
But I'm not a special priority influencer. I mean, I'll be honest, just like any other normal...
So then, what are you more mad about? The fact that they get games early, and whatnot, and they're paid to, well, and they're paid to play those games, right? So what? Sorry, let's reword that. I mean, what I said was right the first time, but let's reword that. So, are you mad that these people get games early for free, or that they're paid to play these games early, or that people in their fan base give them money to pay to play the games? Which one is it? And to be perfectly honest with you, it's out of all three, it always comes down to money. Because if they're given the game for free early to play it, they're probably going to make more money. Well, they're probably going to make money in general because they'll be playing a game that not everybody has access to at the time. If they're paid to play it, then they already have an incentive to play the game. And so in turn, they're going to actually get the double dip because not only were they paid by the publisher or the manufacturer or the whatever, but they're also going to get paid by their audience. Or third, the audience is going to throw major money at them. How does any of that even affect Phil Burnell, really? I mean, since all Phil wants to do is shit on games, what game company wants that? Two, Phil doesn't have any credibility anymore. He doesn't have any clout. He doesn't have any legitimacy. So there's no real reason to help him out in any of those categories anyway. And three, what makes him think that he could pull away from their audience, or that he could pull their audience away from them over to his side so they can watch his gameplay so they could give him money? He pretty much loses in all three categories, basically. So what the hell are you complaining about?
Yes, am I jealous of certain people and of people who are successful and whatever? Of course I am. Of course I'm going to have jealousy. That's a natural human emotion for those who have more than you. You're always going to have that natural kind of jealousy of those who maybe have, been more successful or things like that.
It's not fair. Why are they so special? Why are they better than us? And I don't mean why are they better than me. I mean why are they better than all of us? Why does a certain group of influencers, why are they so fucking important to the planet that they get early access to everything? Why, you know what I mean? I never support that. Never. It's been very rare in my 11 fucking years that I have done this, that I've gotten early access to anything. And I never seek it out. I should say this up front. I've never sought out early access to a single thing. Not once in my lifetime have I asked a company, can I get early access to your game because I think I'm better than everybody else. I've always prided myself on...
Okay, he's not lying. Well, no, he is lying, actually, but he's not lying. How do I word this? He got Fallout 4 early, didn't he? And didn't he have to go through Machinima to get that? Meaning that Machinima was like, hey, we can get early copies of this game. Would you like to play it? And he said, yeah. So just because him as the independent didn't go directly to the company in question and say, hey, what's that, Bethesda? And ask them for a copy of their game, he went through Machinima to do it. So he still benefited no matter what. And no, he wouldn't reach out to a company, at least not that I know of. I don't know, I'm still going back through the lore. But no, he probably hasn't asked the company directly because that would require too much effort to go ahead and write an email, maybe a couple of emails, and ask for a free copy of the game. And given how much juice, if you will, he didn't have really juice, but the little bit of influence, if that's what you want to call it, he had back in the day, he could have done that, probably been answered off the first email, and would have gotten whatever he wanted. Huh? Like, he had all the opportunities in the world and he didn't take it. That doesn't mean that the opportunities weren't there. And you can't shit on somebody for taking up an opportunity that you weren't willing to take. So what the hell are you talking about then?
The guy who I think I'm a Joe average gamer, I shouldn't get anything better than you. I play the game on release day, right? I was the one back in the day on YouTube. I would line up at GameStop at midnight to buy the game, rush home, play it, record it, and put those videos up on YouTube immediately. That was before there was a special group of elitist guys and people who got these games a week early and got to play them to make mass profit, okay? So, very, very rarely have I ever done... In fact, I think on one hand, can you count in the 80,000 videos in 11 years that I've done this for a living, all right? Can you count how many times I've ever gotten early access to a game? And like I said, I never actively saw...
Jesus Christ, I'm not trying to pause this often, but you just said that you never had access, you never asked for early access. Now you're saying that you've had early access. Either you have or you haven't. I don't want to hear circumstances where, oh, I asked for it, I didn't ask for it, it was presented to me, and what. I don't care any about it. No one cares about that bullshit. Did you have access to it? Did you take advantage of it? Did you do it? You did. So that means, and I hate to say this, you must have had some type of influence back in the day for people to reach out to you to do it. And you took advantage of those opportunities. So why would you shit on a group of people who have the same opportunities presented to them when you took advantage of it back in your day? That seems a bit hypocritical.
To get it. Like some of the situations where I got it, I was just offered it out of nowhere when I didn't even ask for it. So that being said, in the situation you're talking about, Dolphin Splash, he says, "Are you more open to getting games for free now?" I didn't get any games for free. What happened is that there were closed alphas for Neo 2 and Code Vein for people who I guess had registered long ahead of time, and a few of my viewers and fans got codes and were like, "Oh, well, we're not going to play it." So we'll just go ahead and send it to Phil, and let's see what Phil thinks about it, okay? That's a very different situation than, oh, here's the full friggin' game a week early, play it to make mass profit on your stream, right? That's ridiculous, in my opinion.
And my ass...
How the fuck do you figure? Because you're getting access to a game that very few people are going to have access to, you're going to stream it, and you're going to put it on YouTube to get profit. Whether it's the full game or it's early access, you're still taking advantage of the situation. Secondly, you're saying that it's unfair for these people, these influencers, to take advantage of opportunities that are presented to them, which is good business. You're saying it's unfair to do all those things despite the fact that you've done those things yourself. On top of that, you have the nerve to try to drag the audience into this shit and say what makes them better than us. You mean you weren't saying that shit when you had early access? You weren't saying that, you know, hey, us guys at Machinima, what makes us better than these guys right here who watch us and pay us through clicks? You weren't saying it then. So how the hell are you going to sit there and spew that bullshit now? Oh, because you're cut off from all those avenues because you're a piece of shit? That's your fault. That's your fault that you're either a piece of shit or you were too ignorant to understand how business worked or to do business. If you were planning on doing this for a living, right, as his job, which is what he's been doing for 10 plus years. If you're turning down opportunities to make extra money to get yourself into the door of a company and build a relationship with that company, you're a fool. You're the fool. No one else. No one is going to look at a Dr. Disrespect or a Shroud, for example, and say, oh, those guys are sellouts because they went over to, I don't know, they went over to Activision and tested out the new Call of Duty games. People are going to be more interested in what their opinion is of it, not calling them shills and this, that, and the third. That's the reason why your argument falls on deaf ears, because it's funny how the we is really just you. And the only people who are bitching about it is you and those ignorant pay piggies who don't know no better. While the rest of the world, especially on Twitter, Phil, since that's where you get all your information, everybody knows this is just how business works. This is how the practice works. And it's generally open to everybody. To some extent, yes, certain games will have more priority to those who have the influence to get that game out there quickly and to the masses, have a larger reach, I should say, to the masses. Yes, but generally anybody can request a game. You know what I mean? There are people on fucking Twitch who only have like maybe a couple hundred followers. Maybe only like 10, 15 subs who can request games and get them. I remember Tevin was saying, praise be, he was able to get free games, and free games were just offered to him early on in his Twitch career. Games are offered to him now. So how is it, Phil, that Mr. Oh, I make way more money than him, despite the fact that he has a much larger audience than you, gets opportunities for free games and stuff like that, and you can't get a look? Well, that seems weird, because despite all the money you make, he has more opportunities waiting for him. Which, guess what, Phil? Just in case you don't understand what that means. Opportunities in the long term that would pay off in the long term. That means long-term money. That means the begging that he doesn't do now, that you have to do, he won't have to do it in the future either, because there'll be doors open for him. You know, those same doors that you wanted to slam closed because you wanted to be the realest guy on YouTube. You wanted to be the real average Joe gamer. Which means you're just another ignorant bastard. That's all it really meant. DsPnews?
He's so fucking stretched out at this point. I'm open to people sending me stuff.
All they were a taste of the games, just to see what the early builds of the games were. I didn't put too much time or effort into it. I certainly didn't overhype it. And the thing is, these codes, it wasn't even like, oh, I got the code early, so now I'm going to be the first person to play it. You know, I played them later, too. Like, both Neo 2 and Code Vein, I played, like, 2 days into their respective alpha events. What I would say is this, Dolphin Splash. Am I open to playing games for free? Yeah, if you guys want to donate, like if you guys want to help me out.
Oh my god, look at that.
What the hell does that mean? Whether it's given to you by a company or by the individuals in your fan base, what makes it any different? It's really stupid what he's talking about right now. Ladies and gentlemen, let me be perfectly clear about what the situation is at hand. Very clear. Whether a game is given to you by someone in your fan base or by the company itself, if you're going to put it online and play it for profit, guess what? It's put online and played for profit. It doesn't matter how you get it. If you're getting it early, or if you're getting it without paying for it, you're putting it up there for profit. And I only say that, and I only say it in that way because Phil is acting like it's such a dirty thing for people to get games for free, right? Through the corporations, through the publishers and whatnot, and decide to make bank off of it, which there's nothing wrong with that. But Phil thinks it's absolutely horrendous. But he, for some strange reason, thinks it's not so bad if the fan base gives it to you. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It's all the same shit. It really is. TSP News. Sorry, that's the editor.
Disgusting mess. Oh my god, I'm toxic. I'm fucked. I'm dead.
And say, oh, yeah, we know that Phil's, having a tough time financially. Let's donate some games coming up so that he doesn't have to buy them all. Great. I'm always open to those kind of donations. Absolutely. But I am 100% against getting in cahoots with a publisher to become some kind of a priority influencer who gets special treatment and gets shit early. Like I said, I don't think I'm any better than any of you. I really don't. This whole wild ride of 11 years of being a content creator for me has been such a weird situation because I never felt for a single moment, that I was any better than any of you guys who watch my stuff.
That's right. This is the United States of Phil. I am the supreme being. I make the rules, and what I say goes. This is not a place for you to stand on your soapbox and complain about censorship and freedom of speech, because the bottom line is you don't have freedom of speech. This is my land.
I always felt that we're all kind of on equal ground, right? We are all just people who are passionate about video games and who want to share those experiences. That's it. That's all it is. I'm not some kind of special influencer who deserves to get paid insane amounts of extra money because I have a fucking stream on Twitch. That's preposterous to me. And anyone who thinks that they deserve that, I think that that's fucking insanely ridiculous. And,
Who are you to think that you're better than everyone else because you have a fucking stream on Twitch? Like, you don't deserve it.
just because you're getting special treatment. This reminds me of everyone else in my life who always got special treatment over me when I was going to university and I couldn't get into a good university on scholarship because they wouldn't accept me because of certain financial situations. I wasn't a rich white guy, so I couldn't get into Ivy League schools even though I worked my ass off in high school and had all the credentials to qualify for it. Because I'm not one of the special elitist guys who gets the special treatment, right? And then I go to university, and I can't get a good job out of college because I'm not one of the special elitist guys who's in with one of these investment firms or businesses that's hiring and paying ridiculous amounts of money, right? It's like everywhere in my life, there's always an elitist class who gets special treatment because either they kiss butt constantly, all they do is kiss ass, paid advertisements, kiss ass, whatever, or because they know someone. And I've never been for that, and I never will be. I've always said, I'm one of you, I'm one of the people.
What the fuck are you talking about? First things first, when you go to college, right, you make friends. And when you make friends, or if you haven't gone to college with friends, you form what's called connections, Phil. And those connections help you out later on down the line. Especially if you join like a fraternity or something along those lines. So that's kind of what that situation is. Your excuse for getting into college just sounds like bullshit, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't know really what to make out of that. It just sounds silly. To say that, oh, it's because he was white and he doesn't have money, he couldn't get into an Ivy League college. Not the fact that your grades probably weren't up to snuff. Or you were too lazy to go out and take a grant or get some loans. Something. All those things would have been available to you. I don't understand. Whatever. So there's that. Now here's the thing. Why are you bringing personal gripes into gaming? That shit does not have anything to do with Ninja, with Dr. Disrespect, Shroud, Tfue, or any of them dudes. That has nothing to do with any of them. So really, you're not mad at the practice. You're mad because you can't benefit from the practice. That's really what it comes down to. Whatever shitstorm that happened in your life, keep that to yourself. This is supposed to be gaming. This is supposed to be fun. but you're turning this into almost a personal vendetta because people didn't give you looks, apparently because you're white. That's what it sounds like to me. It's starting to sound like that. It sounds to me like you weren't getting personal benefits because you're white. I don't understand that and whatnot. Now, in truth, that's not really what he's saying. He's just an idiot. But to sit there and say, I couldn't get into a good school because I was poor and white, sounds dumb. It sounds just kind of stupid. Sorry. You still went to school. You still got a degree. You would have had to work a little harder to get a better paid job. You didn't want to do it. So daddy had to go ahead and drag you over to where he was at, kicking and screaming until you got yourself fired. So that's where that went. As for any other job that you had, you were trying to play angles either which way. That's why you probably got fired for most of them. YouTube is almost no different, to be honest. Now, to shit on a practice because you feel like you should benefit from it, and you're not, because you were too dumb to make the type of connections with other people, which were just as easy as reaching out by email or something to talk to some of these people, almost as if you expect them to reach out to you, is yet again another form of ignorance. You did it to yourself. No one owes you anything. You think just because you've been out here for 10 years means shit? When I step behind the mic, I don't give a fuck. Your 10 years are nothing to me. Nothing. Nothing. The only thing I care about your 10-year legacy, Phil, is going back and debunking every lie that you made. Just about. Outside of that, I don't really care. It has no inherited value to me whatsoever. Not at all. It's really just entertainment. That's all it is. That's all it was ever meant to be, and you couldn't figure out how to do it, so someone else is doing it. Oh my gosh. I don't know what else you really want from all that. This silliness over life gave you a bad hand is pathetic because there's a lot of people who've been given bad hands. Matter of fact, Phil, let's go ahead and take it a step further. There's people in your fan base that can't even use their hands. They can't even use their arms. They can't even walk. You ever thought about that? You ever thought about how you'd like to be, oh, poor me, oh, this, oh, that, oh, look at how the world has done to me, this, that, and the third? You can still get your fat ass up. You can still wipe your own ass. Some of these people can't. And yet, they still give you money. Yet, they still get up out of bed, whether with assistance or not, and keep facing the hardship, which is life, day by day. But yet, your dumbass wants to sit here and cry about, oh, the detractors hate me. Oh, I can't get any opportunities because I didn't want to accept those opportunities because I didn't want to be a shill. Oh, all these guys on Twitch and YouTube, they get games early and they're influencers, and what makes them think they're better than us? Like a fucking Muppet. And you wonder why you're a laughingstock. You wonder why people turn on your content to laugh and to be bewildered and befuddled. And then they turn that shit off and wait and see what comes up the next day. That's why you can't be appreciated, because you're always saying something stupid instead of doing something that's entertaining. I don't understand how this is hard to figure out. But either which way, you've taken the ball and rolled with it. So, with that being said, I'm gonna allow people to point and laugh at it too. Because why not?
Unbelievable. No. Pretty hypocritical, I agree.
And I will never degrade myself down to that. Okay? I'm just not going to. So all that being said, Dolphin Splash. Again, if anyone ever wants to donate a game to me, if anyone ever wants to support me via that method, great. That's accepted.
Holy shit, we're still on this Dolphin Splash question?
No, I'm not looking for early priority access. I'm not going to sign up for some special fucking influencer program to get elite access early because I'm somehow better than everybody else. I'm not. Okay? I'm just not. And the other truth of the matter here, the matter of fact is, because I play games when they're actually officially released versus early, you know that what I tell you about a game is going to be my honest opinion. It's not sugar-coated. I'm not kissing anyone's ass. I'm being very honest when I stream games. Alright? Because I'm not a paid advertisement like these other fucking influencers are. So you can watch me and trust me whenever I say and do it with a game. You can trust that it's my honest opinion, and I'm not pulling punches or telling you something is better than it is in order to sell a product. My stuff is 100% genuine and always freaking has been. Okay?
Where's Kat? She was taking a shower when I was on break. She had just gotten out of the shower. So, That's where she is. I have no idea what else she's doing today. It's up to her. She cooked like crazy yesterday, so today's her day and will do whatever she wants. I feel like the cat is my soulmate.
Jesus Christ, that don't sound like scumbag shit to you? Alright, oh, that god dog. that shit hits you a certain type of way every time you hear it. As it pertains to how to get access to early access, he just laid it out to you. He can get on a list, he signs up for the list, I should say, and gets on it, and he can get access to it just like everybody else, and he won't do it because he thinks he's being real. You think begging for money day in, day out is being real, Phil? Is that something for you to be proud of? Is that what Mommy Burnell was so proud about when you had to convince her to fucking pay for your wedding and pay for your taxes? And you think that's being real? You think going through life with personal hardships is being real? So Phil, let me ask you a question. You're okay with losing your wife eventually, losing your house eventually, and you being possibly, and this is in the worst case scenario, being on the fucking street, and what are you going to tell people? Give me $1 because I was the realest guy on the internet and the internet didn't appreciate it? Do you think anybody gives a fuck? They're going to look at you like some other bum and just keep it moving. They're not going to care who you were or who you was. Do you know how many people out here that are homeless in the United States? Do you know how many of them weren't homeless 4 or 5 years ago? Most of the people who are on the street, if you've ever volunteered at a shelter, Phil, you'd know this, but you haven't. So, you know, you wouldn't know. But a lot of the people who are on the street or who are in shelters and stuff like that, some of them were actually well-off people. Some of them were actually rich. Not wealthy, but rich. Because of a bunch of really bad business moves, drug habit, divorce, a lot of shit ended up fucking them over. Everybody has a story. Everybody will tell you all day of what they was and what they had, but right now is what matters. And you being the realest person doesn't mean a goddamn thing when you have to beg people for money every day, which is what you do. So you shitting on a practice that you might actually be able to get in. You might not ever be an influencer, but with what declining clout, if you even call that you have now, you can still probably get on a list, and they'll probably still look at your fucking piece of shit YouTube channel and be like, we'll throw them a bone and we'll see what happens. You could still benefit, and you won't because you feel like that's selling out, despite the fact that you want to ask these kids to give you money every day so you can keep your house, so you can run your business, so you can live the lifestyle that you want to live. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think is worse? Conducting good business, which will help you in the long term, or being dark side Phil?
Looks like that might be my wife in there, but I don't care. I don't really care about her. I don't care about my ugly wife. Cat, you need to get out now. That place is toxic.
I actually have an interesting story for all of you, okay? About 1.5 years ago, someone contacted me telling me that they were going to be opening an arcade soon in this area. And they knew who I was. They knew, you know, my past. Basically, they said, listen, we know all about how you're hated on the internet by some people, and that's okay. What we'd like to do is we're actually going to have several fighting game style cabinets set up at this local arcade, and we want to have you come by and maybe say like, oh, Phil, you know, former, you know, really good Super Turbo player is here, and this will maybe motivate a few people to come out who normally wouldn't to play in Super Turbo. And just for you to hang out at our arcade and maybe even cover it, you know, cover it for your YouTube channel or whatever, to give us some free promotion or whatever, and we would actually, you know, pay your way to come out here and hang out at our arcade. And I was like,
bunnies.
Okay, this sounds interesting, you know. So I was in talks with this person for a couple months, back and forth. Nothing ever came of it. I don't know if the arcade even ever opened. I have no idea. Like, I was in talks, and then at one point he had contacted me last year and said, just so you know, we had some setbacks and delays, so it didn't go as we had originally planned, but, you know, we're still trying to do it. And then I just never heard from him again, and that was like over 1 year ago. So I don't know what happened. I swear, anyone I know who's ever tried to get into the arcade business, it ends up being a huge miserable disaster.
Wait.
Okay, first things first, I'm sorry. There's a whole lot that's wrong with that story. There's a whole lot. But I'm going to focus on two main parts because that essentially dismantles this whole story. someone reached out to him saying that they were thinking about opening an arcade and they would want him to come out and promote that arcade. They want him to come out there. They're going to have a bunch of fighting game cabinets, this, that, and the third, and they want him to be a special guest. They want to pay his way, so on and so forth. That's not where the problem's at. That's part of the problem, but that's not the main problem. The main problem is we know who you are. We know about your bad reputation online, but we're okay with that. We want you to come out. I can't remember if it was OP seats or if it was Respawn seats. One of the two. I think it was Respawn seats. I think OP was the legit one and Respawn was whatever that was. But didn't they say the exact same thing to you before they sent you the chair? Isn't that the exact same Isn't that the exact same story that they gave? So it's amazing how the whole thing with the gamer chair is not matching up with this whole situation with the arcade situation, with him being invited out to promote the grand opening of this new arcade. Here's the next problem with that arcade situation. They offer this opportunity to you. You guys talk back and forth for months, and then all of a sudden the contact is stopped and nothing ever happened. Why would they reach out to you, let's say, 6 months out, when in actuality it would be easier, to reach out to you weeks before the arcade actually opens? If not a month. Why would they wait so long to reach out to you and see if you'd be willing to do this, right? And fly you out, this, that, and the third, months out, where they're still in a very critical part of the business where they're not sure if things are going to work out properly. Why would they do that? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense, to be honest. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense at all. Now, here's what does make sense. Now, on Twitter, there is a couple of OG fighting game players that were talking about opening up an arcade amongst themselves, even though in South Cal, in California, there's already like 2 arcades that are owned by former fighting game players that are frequented regularly. But anyway, there was if I remember the story correctly, there was a couple of OG guys who were going to open up their own arcade, and they were going to invite friends of theirs who are also OG players to come out for the grand opening, so on and so forth. I'm starting to think that Phil heard that story and is remixing it into this shit right here. Here's my reasoning behind it. If Phil was given this opportunity, why wouldn't he have told anybody this on a pre-stream? And he said this was a year ago. I don't remember ever hearing this story a year ago. And I was deep into my reporting at that time, so I would remember if that came up. At least I'd like to think. So why is this story coming out now, right around the time where I think another group of people are getting ready to do something along those lines? And I don't remember this one for sure either, so please don't hold me to it. But isn't there rumors about Chinatown arcades being opening back up? Just in case you guys don't know, Chinatown Arcade is this legendary spot in New York where all of the pros back in the days have came through. IFC Yipes, Justin Wong, Sanford Kelly, Ricky Ortiz, Minion, all them dudes who've gone through there. They've made their bones, if you will, in there. It was the Lion's Den over there. That's how dudes learn how to get good and whatnot. CVS2, Marvel, Third Strike, you pick your poison. And people have been talking about it for years of trying to get it open back up. And so I think there's another movement now to try to do that again. It makes you just wonder where this story's coming from. That's all I'm saying. DSP News.
Is this the real Dark Side Phil?
Oh my god.
Wait.
There we go.
Wait.
I forgot to mute my
Hold
mic.
up. Hold up.
There we go.
I gotta check to see if he's live. Hold the fuck up.
He's gotta check to see if
There's
he's
no
live.
way. There's no way. What?
Oh my god. Okay, at least now we don't have to listen to this fucking guy.
Dacky Smurf, cheers. A study that was published says seeing yourself different now than you used to is both a consequence and cause of depression. What? Just listen to this. Seeing yourself different now than you used to be is both a consequence and cause of depression. It's also called getting older, becoming more mature, and becoming intelligent. Changing over time, for the better or for the worse, is something that just naturally happens to every human. So, that study is a piece of donkey shit. I mean, because you changed over time, or you see yourself differently, you're depressed. Like, no, you're just stupid. Shut the fuck up.
Why am I toxic?
What? Yeah, if you... What? Yeah, that's kind of what leads to midlife crises also. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't need to pig explain this to you. But, yeah, that's people go through this for a bunch of different reasons. But one is if they're not the way they remember themselves back in their glory days, for example. You know what I'm saying? People go through a bit of a slump and depression. That's just reality hitting you, to be honest. But that happens. Phil, since you're saying for the worst, you've gotten so much worse over the years. Your popularity has declined, your money has declined, your influence has declined, no friends, barely any family to speak to. I mean, yeah, I can see why you'd be depressed, and I would see why that person has a very good opinion. But why would you call that stupid? And the reason why you called it stupid is because it does apply to you, and that's what you're upset about. It takes a real man to kind of, or just a real strong person in general, to go ahead and accept that. That person is right. That person is very right. Now, granted, every person's different, but it applies to you. So why are you going to get mad at that? I mean, why'd you even read it? Just shrug it off and move on. But you read it on purpose because you were hoping to humiliate the guy. Or at least snap at him. And doesn't that get old? You say, isn't this the same guy who keeps talking about, oh, I just, if you stay positive, everything will be positive, this, that, and the third, but he doesn't know how to be positive himself. He really don't. He's probably one of the most negative individuals that I've ever seen. He's not the most negative, but he's definitely one of them. He's certainly probably one of the most negative individuals in the gaming community. He's not the most negative, though. That guy, what's his name, Dellard? Or whatever. Tevin watches him sometimes. Look back into that guy's past. He's a proverbial funhouse of bullshit. Oh boy. Especially now, too. But he's a real piece of shit. God dog. But people like seeing him spurg out, so at least he has that going for him.
More toxic. Oh, Phil actually is a really toxic person, so we're just gonna keep saying, why am I toxic? Because it's a meme. Oh my god, he's drinking gin. It's Tevin's fault. What pasta do you prefer? I prefer a penne. Oh! Easy to eat. Oh! Phil's a faggot. Phil's fat. Phil's a loser. Phil's a beggar. Phil's a racist. Phil's a scammer. DSP's a pedophile. DSP is a thief. DSP is a greedy fuck.
This guy's a bitch.
I have a micro penis.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm stunned. I'm stunned. I'm absolutely stunned by that silly shit. Ladies and gentlemen, whether you get free games through a sponsorship or through people in your audience or your fan base or whatever you want to call them, they give it to you, it puts you in a position of privilege. And just be thankful and just move on, to be honest. It is what it is. It's one hand washing the other. Yes, the sponsorship situation is business, but that business can expand off to great things. As for the fan base, that's the fan base just trying to give back, or that's them wanting to, or that right there is an appreciation type thing. That's not something that should be entitled. You know what I mean? But Phil doesn't know the difference, so it is what it is. That is just, his whole thought process on that is just ridiculous. Absolutely redunculous, to be honest with you, on how silly he is thinking that shit. I'm absolutely amazed that that someone that old can be that stupid. To be honest, that was just absolutely dumb, and he's not proving anything by doing that. It just it shows me, to be honest, that he just doesn't value the fan base. He looks at them as nothing more than an extension of himself. So that's really what it comes down to. And didn't he not try to participate in those sponsored streams on Twitch? And doesn't he not complain about how he can't participate in them? How those things have been cut off from him? They make extra money? Does that not make him a shill? I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it. And yeah, this is DSP News, always late, never breaking, unreliable coverage that you can't count on. A GTG Networking Productions for the Snort Report. I'm your host / anchor GTG, and I am signing off. What an idiot! I can't convey it any more than that. That's, oh my god, he can't conduct himself in business. He can't conduct himself personally. I don't understand. I don't understand how you're on a social media website for over 10 years and you don't know how to interact with people, or you don't understand how this world works. It's like a caveman who's been fucking defrosted in our current time period and is trying to figure out how shit works. It makes no sense. It just don't. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host GTG and I'm signing off. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you on the next one.